You're going to listen to a conversation between 3 students about using cell phones in the class. Listen to the conversation to see how the students express opinions, support opinions, and use conversational strategies like turn-taking, asking for clarification, responding to partners' ideas to show they're listening, repeating key words, using appropriate gestures and body language, interrupting politely, and ending the conversation well. And remember, good communication skills are necessary for your successful future.
Hey, anything interesting in the newspaper?
Well, I've been reading an article about banning cell phones in the classroom.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I totally agree with cell phones.
Do you mean you think cell phones should be allowed in the classroom, or you agree with the ban?
Sorry, what does ban mean?
A ban means when something is forbidden or not allowed, right, Adeesha?
That's right. It's like saying that cell phone use in the classroom is against the rules or the policies of that particular classroom.
Oh, but then I disagree with the ban. Like, look around you. Everyone has a cell phone. They become a necessary part of life. I use a dictionary on my phone all the time, and I love it. It's great.
I think that a cell phone ban is a great idea. You said that it was helpful in the classroom, but what are students doing with their cell phones? Surfing the internet, tweeting, checking their Facebook account? What do you think, Ola?
Well, I can see both sides. I have to admit that when I'm trying to concentrate in class, it's annoying when the person beside me is texting. I find it distracting.
You know what? Me too. I think it's totally rude. We're supposed to be behaving professionally in the classroom.
Yeah.
How is this professional? Would you hire somebody who sits at their desk all day texting?
No
That would
way.
be such a waste of money for the company. We're supposed to be learning how to behave in a Canadian environment, and we're learning how to behave professionally. You know, when I'm driving and I see people texting and they're sitting like this on the wheel, driving, you know, how does that not cause accidents? There was this one time when I was driving down the street.
Do you mind if I jump in here? I don't think that it's such a big deal. I mean, you know, sending a couple of texts in a 5-hour class, everyone needs a break.
I agree that we all need a break, but that's why we have 2 breaks. One in the morning, one at lunchtime. If I'm a student, I should be doing my texting and my phone business either in the morning or at break time or at the end of the day, and that's that.
Well, sometimes people need to use their phone for emergencies, so a complete ban might not be such a great idea.
Everybody says that they have emergencies, but what are students really doing? They're asking their friends, where are you? What are you doing? What did you have for lunch? When are you coming home? All of those things. Those aren't emergencies. And by the way, did you know that the ESL department has a phone number for emergencies?
Yeah, but even though emergencies don't happen all the time, cell phones can be really useful when they do. And I think that the most important point that Kent made was that cell phones can be helpful in the classroom. I know that a lot of students have electronic dictionaries on their cell phones. They can look up the meaning of a word without disrupting the teacher, the class, or another student. I know that I use my electronic dictionary a lot.
Exactly. I use my electronic dictionary all the time. Last week in reading class, we had 10 minutes to read that article about evolution or something. I didn't know half of the words in that. I just used my cell phone dictionary and it helped me a lot.
Well, remember that activity we did on learning vocabulary? It said that you will remember a word more if you talk about it and actually use it. Simply looking it up in your electronic dictionary is not necessarily the best way to learn. You can also ask the teacher about a new word because he always asks if there are any questions.
Sounds like you're starting to agree with the ban.
Yeah, I think banning cell phones in the classroom is a good idea. I mean, it's even worse now that we have Wi-Fi in the classroom.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen students watching video games, playing computer games, even listening to music while the teacher is teaching. I mean, how can a teacher compete with that?
Well, I'm still against the ban, but I know that cell phones can be distracting. I saw somebody watch an entire movie in class one time.
No way.
It was terrible. Yeah, after the teacher asked him to put his phone away twice, the teacher just gave up.
It's definitely hard to control. I've also seen students take pictures of tests and send them to their friends. I study really hard and work for all my grades. When students are allowed to use cell phones in the classroom, it just makes it easier to cheat. It's not fair.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. You have a point there. I've heard of students that use their cell phones and send the answers to each other too.
Oh my God. You know what's a good compromise? When we have a test, the teacher should ask us to put our cell phone in a box just in front of the class.
My phone cost $800. I'm not gonna do that. Plus, you're treating every student like they're cheaters. Come on. Phones can be used as an educational tool. Like, for example, I use my phone to take pictures of the board or something. Sometimes I'm too busy listening to the teacher, so I just use my phone to take pictures of the board, or I can take pictures of homework as well. It's useful.
Yeah, I do that too. I forgot about that. I once even asked the teacher if I could record her explanation of a grammar point, and I used my cell phone for that. I listened to the recording at home, and it actually helped me to remember the rule. Now I don't know what I think.
Well, I definitely don't think that they should be banned.
You know what we should do? Whenever we have a test or when we're in class, just leave our cell phones in our bags. That would be the best thing to do.
I don't agree with a complete ban because cell phones could be really good for education. I definitely think there should be limits and restrictions on how cell phones are used. Maybe the teacher and the students can come up with a list of rules for cell phone use at the beginning of the class.
Sounds reasonable. I'd agree with that.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Oh, class is in 5 minutes.
right.
We better go.
Let's go.